What's going on, guys? This is Scott. Thank you so much for stopping by the Drip, home of the 150% guarantee, where 100% of the time I'm going to be over 50% right. Every knife has a story. What we try to do, as you guys know, if you are familiar, and for those of you that aren't, we try to always give you a little piece of that story. It could be at the very beginning, brand new, out of the box. It could be a first impression. And of course, as always, these are my opinions. I'm bringing them to you guys, showing you new, wacky, wild stuff you can own, stuff that you can't own, stuff that you only dream about. But we don't use any type of smoke and mirrors here. It is 100% authentic. Woo, we got that out. It is New Content Monday, and with that, I thought I'd bring some new content. Hope you guys had a great weekend, whatever weekend that may be. Right now, this is going to be, this is going to be the end of August. We're almost heading into September of 2022. All right, let's jump in. As the title may suggest, man, this is a beast right here. In fact, had this little baby that's in my hand at this present time been on the Titanic, I have become convinced that the iceberg would have sunk. This thing is that tanky and big. It is a bully on the block. It's thick. This is a monster, and it is a beautiful one at that. What this is going to be a Maxace what is this? HEPHAESTUS? HEPHAESTUS? This is HEPHAESTUS. I'm not brushed up or that verse in my Greek mythology, but by doing a little research, I found out that that is, in Greek mythology, the god of fire. This thing is on fire. This is badassery at its finest. I don't care where you live, what you do, this thing here, wherever it may be made, is one hell of a knife. And my impressions of this, I've had this probably about 3 weeks, given it some pocket time, used it, and just, again, off the hook. Got a fire, one hot knife. Let's get into this. Okay, first thing, when it comes to you, you're going to notice not only the heft, the weight, the size. I kind of am giving you a little bit of a roundabout here on it. But up here on the front where there's going to be a pin. And you have to unscrew this to be able to open the knife. So we'll sit this here. More about this in a little bit. So we'll go ahead. You got a nice flipper here. The action is amazing. I don't know if you could tell by listening to that right there, the sound that it was giving off. But one thing about this, it is so choice whenever you're flipping it open like that. It just feels like nothing that you've ever experienced. And that's going to be, well, for one, if you take this thing apart and look at it, it actually is going to have a custom multi-row bearings system inside here. Huge difference in your action. The bearing, when you look at it, it has a little like circle of bearings, and then it has an outer row of bearings on the inside of this. And just the way that it's constructed, of course, this one isn't taken apart, but I was watching a video where a guy disassembled one of these things, and it's just, it looked great. So there's no wonder why you're not, I mean, you're going to feel it in the action. Okay, now, and if you're familiar, if you'd seen the video on my Seal XR, the Seal XR, which is a big, heavy-duty work knife. This thing here on size and feel in the hand, it actually feels better than that knife in the hand. It's not at all sharp or going to bite you in any place on this. Not at all. Now let's go ahead while we're just looking at the beginning. Let's measure it because I want to see exactly how big this is. Okay, so the blade itself, we're looking at 4 and probably 1/4. I think that's their claim to fame. So it's definitely over 4 inches. The cutting edge is probably going to be about 4 1/4. So that's a big blade. The handle itself, we're going to be looking at 5 1/2. That's all the way to the end of it here of the handle. So very large. Let's get a weight for it. I want to see. Man, this thing, there's no way. Okay. 10 point, somehow it got reset. 10.8 ounces. Heavy. So this is burly. In fact, I think this is heavier than the Medford I have. Genesis, Praetorian Genesis tie. So almost 11 ounces in your hand. The blade itself, it's an M390. Now this company, this knife is made in China. I actually ordered it. It got sent from Maxace directly from China. I think it took me about 2.5 weeks to get it, so it wasn't bad at all. HEPHAESTUS. I'm going to get that name by the end of this video, I'm telling you. Okay, so the number on this is MH. So that's Mike Hotel Papa Sierra 03. That's the model number. M390 blade, flat ground, modified drop point. As you can see, it almost wants to come down to a clip point. Got a nice, thick, long swedge at the top, and I'm not even sure. Look at the tip on this, how thick that is. That is crazy. Stop pin up here. Actually, these are made or said that you can use them as a flipper. I can't. Now, you may, once it loosens up more, you probably can. You got a nice fuller here on the top and on the back, so you could use that possibly to flick it out. Again, not me. Not me, never volunteer. Okay, so mainly for me, out of all these choices to deploy, I use the flipper. It gives you the most satisfying flip and feel of the knife when it's in your hand, and just a nice, large, thick, So the blade itself, massive. You can see this beautiful grind that goes all the way down, almost a little bit of a recurve right here on the bottom of the belly, but nice flat ground right there. Look at that. I love M390. They did a beautiful job with this. All the components, look how overbuilt they are, how large. Great lockup. Now let's say you're going to do some heavy duty work with this big knife. You can essentially turn this into a fixed blade. There's a couple of options here. See this little over travel? Stop right here. So that whenever the frame lock that we've got, you flip that over, it keeps you from of course, going too far. If you take your fingers and you turn this, don't worry, I'm not gonna, what this does is it keeps it, it moves a little bar inside here that flips around. Now, if I try to push this over, I can't. So it, in essence, is going to keep, I guess in essence, it keeps this locked. So you can't, it's not gonna collapse on you. Now, if you say, well, gosh, you know, that could still collapse, well, then you can take this little pin it comes with, you put it through the blade, you turn this till it's tight. This is as strong as a fixed blade. With this in here, this locked in, so you could just, I mean, yes, it's built for actual work, and I guarantee it's gonna perform really, really well. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these back out, but this whole idea, I won't necessarily ever use this out in the wild, but it's wild that it's there. And then we just turn this back counterclockwise like that. And then there you go. See how that kind of narrows down to almost a little channel here at the end of where the blade is. So we can see that's perfectly centered. It just kind of goes exactly right in the middle where it's supposed to go. Fills up this whole cavity here. As we're kind of looking at it in its closed resting position, the handle itself, it's titanium. So this is a full titanium handle. And then the scales, they're Timascus inlays. It's kind of a tumbled finish. But yeah, these Timascus inlays, they just pop, especially in the sun. Look at that. I don't know if this is even doing it justice under the lights. Titanium milled clip. Underneath the clip, you've got a little flat area so that when you're going in and out of your pants pocket, where the clip edge is, and I don't even know if it kind of rests down in a flat area under here on the actual handle. So going in and out of the pocket, it's a smooth operator. No offense, Medford, I do love the smooth, well, actually that's Smooth Criminal, but brain fart. You have a nice, thick backspacer that runs the whole length of the knife. All the way around, down. You've got a little bit of jimping on the flipper here. Nice ramp for your thumb here to keep you in position. If you need to, you can even choke up just a little bit on here. But you kind of want to be careful because there's this overbuilt little area here with like the choil underneath. You have just a little bit of jimping here where you actually have the lock bar with a steel insert that's put in here. I don't know if you can see the screw up here where it actually attaches or holds into place. Let's look and see if it has any. No. It almost looks like a integral, but it's not milled out. So these are just solid titanium handles that we can see inside. Little jimping underneath, reverse grip, very comfortable if you need to go that route. The handle itself just feels really thick in the hand. I mean, and I've got a large glove, but you can see I've got plenty of room on this handle. So whether you have a glove on, you don't, it's not going to matter. Your fingers can just fall into place wherever they need to go. Nice little bit of milling across the back spacer here again, runs essentially the whole handle of the knife. If you want to have a lanyard put on, which I'm not sure, but some people like that, you've got a nice lanyard hole that's dedicated right here. The pocket clip itself is going to be for right-hand carry, tip up. Yeah, that frame lock and the steel lock insert, that's where the bread and butter of this particular knife lays. Now, if you're looking for something that is more of an appealing, attractive knife, you like something that almost could appear as if it would be something custom, hey, it's a great knife. And I guarantee you, I am not afraid to use this in any capacity, that it's going to do what I need it to do. It probably would do well at chopping up some small sticks, carving. You could do some food prep. It is a little bit thick from the edge up, so I wouldn't say that it's going to slice and do anything you need. It may not be the fine type of work or tasks, but this beast right here, and that's one of the little bit of the downfalls, that it is very heavy in the pocket. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm glad you guys took the time to watch my video. We covered everything on it, from the blade to the scales to size, all of that other good jazz. I think overall it's just a beautiful looking knife. If you have any favorites from Maxace, or if you've got any comments on this particular knife, please leave them down below. It runs about, I think, $580 on the cost of these. A little bit on the more expensive side. On the blade here, you've got the name HEPHAESTUS, M390 2022. I like the anodization as well too on some of the hardware and such that they have on the knife. Remember our pets, remember our vets, the little furry ones, the not furry ones. They love us, give us everything that we could hope for. Keep coming back for more. The men and women that served in our armed forces to bring us freedom and allow us to do the things that we, for the most part, want to take part and do each day. And we'll be coming at you with another video very soon. If you like this type of content, if you like seeing knives, if you like hearing about this type of debauchery, then jump on the raft. I'll be your captain. Punch your ticket. Hit subscribe. There's room here. I'd rather have a small group of people that we can be together and intimate, as opposed to just a big madhouse of craziness, which it tends to be. So until we meet again, love who you see in the mirror, like yourself, find the excuses to think I can do instead of, oh my gosh, I could never do that. And I will talk to you soon. Take care.